Hello and good evening. I have a news article here from Rense.com. It's pretty interesting. BP censoring the media and destroying evidence by Rikai Ott. That's O-T-T. June 12, 2010. And this is how it goes. Orange Beach, Alabama. While the President Obama insists that the federal government is firmly in control of the response of the BP spill in the Gulf, people in coastal communities where I visited last week in Louisiana and Alabama know an inconvenient truth. BP, not our presidency, not Obama, controls the response. In fact, people on the ground say things are out of control in the Gulf. Even worse, as my latest week of adventures illustrate, BP is using federal agencies to shield itself from the public accountability. For example, while flying on a small plane from New Orleans to Orange Beach, the pilot suddenly exclaimed, "Look at that! The thin red line marking the federal restrictions of 3,000 feet over the oil Gulf region had just jumped to include the barrier islands off of Alabama." There's only one reason for that, the pilot said. BP doesn't want the media taking pictures of oil on the beaches. "You should see the oil that's about 6 miles off the coast," he said grimly. We looked down at the wavy orange boom surrounding the island below us. The pilot shook his head. "There's no way that these booms are going to stop what's offshore from hitting these beaches." Note, these booms are absolutely worthless. Mere PR. They stop nothing, JM. BP knows as well. Booms can only deflect oil under the calmest of seas conditions, not barricade it. So they have stepped up their already aggressive effort to control what the public sees. At the same time, I was en route to the Orange Beach. Clint Girdley with the Louisiana Shrimp Association and Dean Blanchard, who owns the largest shrimp processor in Louisiana, were in Grand Island taking Anderson Cooper out into a small boat to see the oil beaches. The U.S. Coast Guard held up the boat for 20 minutes, an intimidation tactic intended to stop the cameras from recording BP's damage. Luckily for Cooper and the viewing public, Dean Blanchard is not easily intimidated. A few days later, the gig was up with the booms. Oil was making landfall in 4 states, and even BP can't be everywhere at once. CBS 60 Minutes Australia found entire sections of the boom hung up in the marsh, grasses 2 feet above the water off of Venice. On the same day, on another side of the Barteria Bay, Louisiana, baykeeper documented pools of oil and oil pelicans inside the boom on the supposedly protected landward side of Queen Bess Island off Grand Island. Credit: Louisiana bayou keeper, ineffective boom traps oil on the beach. Oiled brown pelicans await fate. Queen Bess Island, Louisiana, June 5, 2010. This is the island that New Orleans has spent buku money, time, huge boulders to protect the sanctuary for pelicans, state bird which were almost extinct in the late 60s. With oil undisputedly hitting the beach and the number of the dead wildlife mounting, BP is switching tactics. In Orange Beach, people told me BP wouldn't let them collect carcasses. Wonder why. Instead, the company was raking up carcasses of oil seabirds, the heads separate from the bodies. One upset resident told me, there's no way those birds are going to be have an autopsy. BP is destroying evidence. People have to get this out next meeting that the president is supposedly having this week and ask, we thought you were in charge. I guess not. I guess Obama's not in charge. BP's in charge of everything. He owns the country. Provided by Rakai Oat, laughing gull heads is separated from the body during collection, rendering it useless for autopsy. Waveland, Mississippi, May 13, 2010. The body count of the affected wildlife is critical to provide or prove the harm caused by the spill, and also serve as an invaluable tool to evaluate the damages to public property. The dolphins, sea turtles, whales, seabirds, fish, and more that are owned by the American public. Disappeared body counts means disappeared damages and disappeared liability for BP. See what they're doing. BP should not be collecting carcasses. The job should be given to NOAA, a federal agency, and volunteers, as was done during the Exxon Valdez oil spill in Alaska. See, they're not following what they did before. NOAA should also be conducting carcasses drift studies. Only 1% of dead seabirds made landfall in the Gulf of Alaska, for example. That means for every one bird that was found, another 99 were carried out to sea by currents. Further, NOAA should be conducting aerial surveys to look for carcasses in the offshore rifts where the currents converge. That's where the carcasses will pile up. A fact we learned during the Exxon Valdez oil spill. Maybe that's another reason for BP no camera policy and the flight restrictions, why you can't fly below 3,000 feet. On Saturday, June 12th, people across America will stand up and speak out with one voice and protest BP's treatment of the Gulf, neglect for the response workers, and their response to government authority. President Obama needs to hear and see the people waving cameras and respirators until the media is allowed to unrestricted access to the Gulf and impacted beaches. BP, not the President of the United States, will remain in charge of the Gulf response. For more information on the community rallies, please visit here. This is a web page, so I'll give you the web page. It's rinse.com. bpce.html if you wanted to go directly to the story. And it has general 191/ in front of that. Marine toxologist and Exxon Valdez survivor Rakai Oat, PhD, shares stories of oil spill impact to clean up workers and sound truth and corporate myths. Her latest book, Not One Drop, Betrayal and Courage in the Wake of the Exxon Valdez, that was Chelsea Green, 2008, is on social trauma of this disaster. She is a national spokesperson with Move to Amend, a grassroots coalition working to abolish the legal doctrine that allows corporations to claim constitutional rights and undermine legitimate democracy. In the story. That was another good story. I kind of like that one. Let me see. Okay. See what we're under? We're under a cover-up now. They had a false flag, and now they have to try to cover it up because the false flag came to be worse than anything they ever imagined when they created this. And now it's going to be the ultra false flag, I guess. I don't know how they're going to deal with this. I can only hope in the future that we can stop this. For today, June 12th, 2010, I say abdu to you, my adar. I say goodbye, and I hope you learn from this. I hope somebody will wake up and smell the oil. Anyways, that's all I have to say for today. This is the end of the news report. Good day.